Okay, so we're back here for part 2. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5, we have two different radicals again. We don't want them on the same side because that gets really messy if you try to square that. So let's move that negative root x to the other side. We're going to add it. And so what that gives us, we get square root x minus 5 equals 2 plus square root of x. Okay, now to get rid of the square root, we have to square both sides. You always have to do this to both sides. So on the left side, what that leaves us, we get x minus 5. Now on the right side, this is 2 plus root x times 2 plus root x. If you want to do this on the side, you can. Right? 2 plus square root x times 2 plus square root x. And you'd have to distribute it. I'm going to do this with the shortcut, where I square the first term, that's 4. I square the last term. Now the square of the square root of x is just x. The middle term is what happens. I'm going to multiply these together and I get it twice. If I was going to distribute this, I would get the middle term twice. It would be the same. This is 2 root x twice. So 2 root x plus 2 root x, this is 4 square root x. That's my middle term here. Now you'll notice this is not good because we still have a square root. So what I have to do, I have to move all the other numbers over to the other side. So I'm going to go minus 4 and I'm going to subtract the x. Minus 4 subtract x. Let's see what happens. X minus x is 0. Okay, so that's actually gone. We get negative 9 equals 4 square root x. Before I square both sides, what I'm going to do here is divide by 4. I'm going to move that. So divide by 4, divide by 4. We get negative 9/4 equals square root x. Now we have to undo this. We're going to square the sides again. So in this problem, we actually have to square the sides twice. This will give us positive 81 over 16 equals x. Now the question is, does that work? If I take 81 divided by 16 and I'm going to store that for x. I'm going to take that answer, I'm going to store it for x. I'm going to do the left side of the equation, which is square root x minus 5, close parentheses, minus square root of x, close parentheses. Now what I'm hoping to get out of this, it should be equal to 2. If it's not, then I have the wrong answer. Equals. What I get is a negative 2 here. So maybe I made a mistake. So let me go back to the original problem. I got 81 over 16. I would subtract 5 from that, and that would give me 1/16. So on the side, I would get square root of 1/16. And then I would go minus square root of 81 over 16. This would be 1/4 minus 9/4, which ends up giving me negative 2. That's wrong because it should be positive 2. So what that tells me about my answer, even though algebraically it works, in the context of the problem, this answer is no good. It's extraneous. So really, for this whole problem, there's no solution. The way we can write, you can say no solution, but what I'm going to do is put a circle with a slash through it. That means the same thing, no solution. It's called the empty set right there. So that did not work. So number 5 has no answer to it. All right, now the last two, let's look at a few examples where it's not a square root, it's something else. Number 6, this is a cube root. Well, the first thing we want to do here is we want to make sure that we move, we want to make sure that we move any numbers to the other side. Okay, so I'll go back to my checklist here. Solve for the variable, isolate the radical by moving all other numbers to the other side. So on number 6, let's go plus 3 to both sides. The 5y minus 2 is under the radical. I can't do anything with that, but I can move this negative 3. So we get cube root 5y plus 2 equals, that's just 3. Now the next thing we need to do is undo this cube root. the way you undo a cube root is you raise this to the third power, both sides. To undo a cube root, you have to cube it. So what that's going to leave us is cube root of 5y plus 2 cubed is just 5y plus 2 equals 3 to the third is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. All right, so now we solve it. We go minus 2. We get 5y equals 25. Divide by 5, and the answer, y equals 5. Now again, let's check this thing. If I put a 5 in here, I go 5 times 5 plus 2. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2 is 27. Cube root of 27 is 3. So what we get is 3 minus 3. Is that equal to 0? Yes. So it's good. Our answer is 5. And then the last one here, number 7. 2t plus 1 raised to the 1/4 power equals 3. The 1/4 power is the same thing as the fourth root of 2t plus 1 to the first. We can write that as a radical. And okay, so how do we undo a fourth root? We're going to take both sides and raise it to the fourth power. So what happens here, the radical, the fourth root of something to the fourth, all that leaves you is the something that's underneath the radical symbol, 2t plus 1, equals 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. We'll go minus 1 on both sides. We get 2t equals 80. Divide by 2. We got t is equal to 40. So the question is that correct? Is that the answer? So let's take 40 and plug it back in for t. So I'm going to do 2 times 40 plus 1. Now it's raised to the 1/4 power. So to the 1 divided by 4. Does it give us 3? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so I must have made a mistake. Well, let me look at what I typed here. 2 times 40 plus 1. It's all in parentheses. That's good. You know what? My exponent is wrong. What I really needed to do, I'm raising this number here to the 1/4 power. But the way I typed it, I raised it to the first and then divided by 4. I need to put that fraction inside parentheses. To the 1/4 equals 3. And this is good because 3 is the right side. This is equal to 3. This is equal to 3. 40 is my solution. And that is it for the notes. Okay, so now you can go get the worksheet and finish up your assignment.